The pollution is absolutely insane today. So if the lighting changes every 2 minutes, that's why. Unfortunately, can't control the pollution. Hello, welcome to Atlas Teaching. My name is Megan. I've been an ESL teacher in Southern China for the past 10 years, and today I want to give you an honest review of this textbook, Market Leader 3. Every semester I have to either choose a textbook or give a textbook recommendation, and I've always found it's really frustrating and annoying to give a recommendation about a textbook or choose a textbook when there aren't a lot of chances to actually open up the textbook and look inside. It's hard to choose a textbook on Amazon when all you can see is the front cover and the back cover. So let me take you through this textbook and show you what it's like so you can see if this would be a good fit for your classroom, and I can share some of my ideas as well. So this is called Market Leader 3. Now, I do have the special Chinese version. So everything in here is English, but it's been specifically designed for the Chinese market because to use a textbook in Chinese schools, there are a lot of legal requirements. But they do offer this textbook without the Chinese version. So if you are teaching in another country besides China, this is still a really good choice. Some of the activities might be slightly different, but overall, the general ideas will be the same and the general activities will be the same. This is the third edition as well. There's still the second edition floating around that's really popular. They are not compatible. A lot of the exercises and page numbers are different. So just be sure to check the edition number if you are going to use this with different students or suggest it to your school. Okay, let's go into the textbook and see what's really inside. So if we open it up, I can read off some of the topics. In the third edition, in the Chinese version, there are only 12 chapters. And those chapters are brands, travel, change, organization, advertising, money, cultures, human resources, international markets, ethics, leadership, and competition. Now, before I open up the book and show you what the pages really look like, I want to share a little bit about why I really love this textbook. So those are all of the chapter titles. Let me open up the book now and actually show you what's inside the textbook. Okay, so I want to show you some of the pages that are actually inside the Market Leader textbook. So if I go back a page or two, you can see the table of contents and the structure organization. So here we have all of the topics written here that I read out earlier: brands, travel, change, organization, advertising, money, cultures, human resources, international markets, ethics, leadership, and competition. If we go to the very first chapter, you can see the topic is brands. They give you a nice little overview here. Here is where we're actually going to start with the discussion. So some of the discussion that they have is talk with your partner and would you buy any of the following brands? Why or why not? For example, Coca-Cola, Toyota, McDonald's, IKEA, Microsoft, Chanel, Ford, a variety of different companies. And then they have a few other questions that you could ask about which brands interest you, what brand image and quality does each one have. Use these words and phrases to describe the brands. For example, it has good value for money, it's timeless, it's cool, it's sophisticated. So there are a lot of great adjectives. You could also give the students your own adjectives or encourage them to find their own as well. There is an audio exercise as well. Definitely so many discussion questions right at the beginning. Then here we have some vocabulary exercises. There you can match the word to the definition. Here you'll fill in the sentences using the words that you found. And then at the bottom we have 6 more discussion questions. There are so many discussion questions. It's excellent. I really love that. If we turn the page, then we go to the listening section. So they give you the audio, you can scan the QR code, or you can use a CD in some of the older books. There are tons of good activities and questions that go along with the listening, so students can listen to it and then answer the questions or discuss with a partner. Then we have an article that students can read and again answer questions about or fill in the little chart here. For me, I read through the article and I thought of my own questions and I wrote those into the PowerPoint. So that's something you can also do as well if you want to keep it a little bit more simple than using the charts down here. Then if we turn the page, we have yet another article. Really, this textbook has so many activities. I absolutely adore it. Here we have a couple more questions about the article. At the top, another discussion question. They'll teach you some useful language phrases, like how do you feel about that? I don't think that's a good idea. How to agree or how to disagree or how to make suggestions. And so it helps students have the tools that they need to complete the case study, which is about to come. So we turn the page again. Here we have the case study. There's tons of information that you could have the students read by themselves. I generally read it by myself and then I put the information into the PowerPoint and summarize the key ideas just so I don't waste too much time. But basically Hudson Corporation is going to be expanding into Europe and they have 6 different marketing strategies. The students are supposed to discuss each of the strategies and choose the one that they're most interested in. Then they also give you different tasks at the bottom that sometimes I use for homework, like a writing task, write an email to summarize what you agreed upon in the meeting, or write an email to the CEO or to a customer. It's super, super useful. If we turn the page, then we go into the next topic, which is travel. Now, most of these books have the same type of organization. At the beginning here, we have discussion questions. How often do you travel by air, rail, road, sea? Do you enjoy traveling? What's most important to you when you travel? Comfort, safety, price. Fill in the blanks with some vocabulary, matching the definitions, filling in the blanks, more audio as well. Another listening section with exercises, reading with exercises, more reading with exercises, skills and language, and then another case study. And here they're going to be actually acting as customer service. There are 4 different problems here. Problem with a hotel, lost luggage, car rental, and a diverted flight. So I'll give the students a choice of each of them, or sometimes I randomly assign them, and they have to do a conversation with a customer service agent and a customer, and they have to use the vocabulary that we studied. So each chapter goes through the same type of situations. And if you want to look at it in more detail, you can always pause the video and zoom in to see what some of the vocabulary words are like. Now that we've taken a look inside the textbook, let me just share a couple of ending ideas about why I really love this textbook. To be honest, anytime the school asks me to choose a textbook for my classes or anytime I'm doing one-on-one tutoring, this is the book I go to. Number one, I found that the activities are actually really useful and really practical. Sometimes you can find textbooks that have a lot of outdated vocabulary words or a lot of outdated exercises. For example, one of my older textbooks had a chapter about how to write a letter. And in today's world, that's not really a skill that my students need to practice. Writing emails? Sure, but writing a letter is not that useful. The second reason I really like this book is because the activities are very expandable. There are a lot of activities that it's easy to stretch for longer periods of time if you want to use them. The third reason I really like this book is because of the variety of activities. A lot of textbooks will just have simple grammar exercises, some reading, maybe a listening activity if you're lucky, but this textbook offers so many discussion activities. Many times there have been 1 or 2 questions that I can pull and students will talk about that for 5 or 10 minutes. So if the textbook gives you 5 different questions, you could very easily have 30 minutes or an hour's worth of material if all you wanted to do was have conversation and discussion. They have vocabulary exercises and a variety of them. Some of them are fill in the blank, some of them are matching. They have a lot of listening exercises, which are great. They have reading exercises. There's just so much variety that it makes it really easy to teach a longer class. We're able to have long periods of discussion, work on vocabulary, have more discussion, do a listening exercise, do a reading exercise, do more discussion, and then finally end with the case study. And this is my favorite reason for this textbook. The case studies are priceless to me. For these case studies, sometimes I've done them for as short as 15 minutes, but other times I've done them for as long as 30 or 40 minutes. So if you're looking for a great activity that will fill up a lot of class time and still be useful for the students, these case studies are incredible. It also saves me a lot of time on lesson planning because I can very easily plan for some activities the very first part of the lesson. And then I know I have 20 to 30 minutes worth of case study time. So it makes my lesson planning work a little bit easier. And the 5th reason I really like this book is that there are a lot of supplemental activities in the back as well. Most of the time, I don't have time to use the supplemental activities in the lesson, so they're perfect for homework. So for my homework, I just tell them to flip to the back of the book, complete some of the exercises, and when they come to class, they just open up their textbook, show me the homework, and I don't have to bring anything home with me. So I really love this textbook because it has so many activities you can choose from. Most of the time I cherry pick my favorite activities because there's so many, I don't have time to get through them all. I really love that they have easy homework activities, practical and useful exercises with great vocabulary words, and the case study is so interesting. So many times I've had students come to me after our semester has finished and told me how much they enjoyed doing the case studies because they never got the chance to do anything like that in any other class. It's realistic, it's practical, and honestly, it's super interesting. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.